Motion carried. Public comment period. Please come forward. No slanderous remarks, attacks. Does anyone wish?
Michael Fields, Winnebago Township. One of the excuses used by the 3 commissioners who refused to ban frac sand mining is that defending a ban in court would cost the county too much money. They would have us believe that they're protecting the taxpayer. Defending a ban in court probably wouldn't cost the county a dime, however, because the Minnesota County's insurance fund would pick up the tab. But if the county did have to pay for it, what would something like that cost? The county took me and my wife all the way up to the state Supreme Court, and it only cost us $15,000. Now these same 3 commissioners are seriously considering $5 or $6 million on some kind of pleasure palace for the highway department. And when there's a perfectly viable option that would be a tiny fraction of that cost to build this garage. This is madness. Where's your concern for the taxpayer now? An overwhelming majority of your constituents spent weeks begging you to ban frac sand mining, knowing full well that some legal costs might result. But you said no. It's like we're little children who don't know what's good for us, and you do. Who's begging for this overpriced garage? Maybe now isn't the best time for business as usual, Houston County style. In the past, when these kinds of deals went through, nobody was looking. Nobody cared about Houston County. But now people are reading about Houston County in St. Paul and Washington, D.C. You're on people's radar screens now, commissioners. Mind your P's and Q's.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robin Shumper, La Crescent Township. And I just have a brief comment. Last week when I was here, I heard you mention the possibility of a vote for a highway shop, and I didn't hear anything about competitive bids. So I just kind of to segue on what Michael just said, I hope that you present competitive bids for those residents who are interested to look at before you make a decision on spending millions of dollars on a highway shop. Thank you for listening.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Crogsford, Caledonia Township. As you go forward with the Highway Department building project, I certainly hope you keep in mind the county taxpayers. Some of you seem to have no limits of cost when it comes to something the county engineer wants. Recently, you purchased a vehicle at exorbitant cost. There are many other models that would have sufficed at a much lesser cost, but you just opened your checkbook and wrote the check for his new vehicle. And his old vehicle is being used by another county employee. So my question is, did he really need a new vehicle? Likewise, does he really need a multi-million-dollar garage? I understand he's been working with architects to design a $5.5 million complex. Add interest and overrun costs, and the price tag will soar to well over $6 million. With 7,809 households in the county, every one of us will get a bill for $768 compliments of you. Mr. Schultz has indicated he wants to bond it and build out by the school. If the site is the area between the school and the car wash, access would be the same street used by school buses, cars, and children walking to school. Trucks, plows, and children are not a good combination. It's an accident waiting to happen. That site also will take extensive excavation just to be able to build. The price tag for excavation alone would go a long way in paying for a building on the current site. Did you not learn anything from the fiasco over the overbuilt Justice Center? Keep taxpayers in mind and don't build more than what is needed. I suggest you sell the land out by the school, putting it back on the tax rolls, using that money for a new building, and possibly that, along with the $600,000 we have, would pay for a building. Some of the board need a lesson in common sense and also to listen to constituents. Many of us do without something we desire until we have the money to pay for it. We want the county to be fiscally responsible also. Thank you.
Would you like me to finish that?
No.
Okay, that's, I just would second the comments that were made here today about the contradiction y'all are expressing, or the three of you, wanting to save the taxpayer money by saying we can't ban frac sand because we're gonna get sued. And on the other hand, building this boondoggle of a highway department building. It's a contradiction.
Does anyone else care to address the board? If not, we'll move on with our meeting.